Or is this the game of some new witch? Are they watching us suffer from somewhere and laughing? By now, even I didn't have a clue who was showing this to us, or for what reason. At the very least, this new tale didn't seem to be overflowing with affection. At first, I thought it was a tale of a beautiful world where no crime occurred, and Claire's regrets had vanished. But something's different. This tale is clearly filled with ill will towards us. I'm sure of that much now, but I don't have a clue who would want to show us this. Suddenly, an explosion rang out. I didn't think it was the sound of gunfire. After all, people living a normal life never hear that kind of sound. Drip. It was the sound of thick raindrops hitting the floor. There was no rain in this underground room. It was the blood dripping down from Natsui's right eye. The bullet had gone through her right eye towards the back of her head. Natsui? It's your fault for jumping at me. The gun, which fell from Ava's grasp, landed on the floor with a hard, metallic clang. As though in response to that sound, Natsui's head slowly turned to face the ceiling. I wonder if at this point Beatrice then yells, "Mom?" No? Natsui! Natsui! Natsui flopped backwards. When the back of her head hit the floor, a red splash spread out beneath it, forming a single flower to adorn her dead face. Natsui, Nei-san? Why did you shoot her? Why, Ava? Ava! Kraus howled, raised his gun, and ran at Ava. At the same time, Hideyoshi leapt between them. It's like, I'm sorry your wife has part of her skull missing, but not letting you kill my wife. A scuffle broke out between the two men. How could you? Natsui! Crying noises. Kraus, Nissan, you've got it wrong. You've got it all wrong. It was just an accident. Ava, how could you? I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I didn't shoot. I didn't. Even though I told her to stop, she just jumped at me. Kraus, who had just seen his wife killed before his eyes, had lost all traces of rationality in his expression. He was so furious that if he had knocked Hideyoshi aside and jumped at Ava, he might have torn her throat out. Why did you kill her? Why? Ava! It was an accident. An accident. Again, like, guns are useful, but I'm just saying, never point them at something that you don't want to shoot. And also, you know, safeties exist for a reason. Also, paying attention to whether or not it's a loaded gun. Like, guns, I'm a very strong supporter of gun rights, but I'm also a very strong supporter of actually, I don't know, knowing how to fucking use it and, you know, knowing proper gun safety. Like, guns are good to have, but you should also be very careful with them. They are not toys. They should be used very carefully. You should definitely not be, I don't know, having a fucking scuffle with a loaded gun. You know, because, I don't know. It's like, guns are not bad, but they're definitely something you have to, like, be very respectful with how you handle it. It's kind of serious. So guns are to be treated with a utmost caution. It's kind of like, hey, fire is really great. It can cook my eggs and bacon. It can also burn down a house. You got to be careful. You know, I'm just saying, proper gun safety would have prevented this. Also, Beatrice, technically your adoptive mother died. any reaction? Or just the fact that somebody's bleeding? Calm down, Kraus Nissan. Ow, 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 ow. Another explosion rang out, but thankfully, no one got shot or hurt in any way. Hideyoshi's face was covered with blood. Ah, I was hopeful. I was hopeful no one got hurt. The two of them had been fighting over the gun Kraus held, trying to push it away from themselves. Again, this is, perhaps why we shouldn't, be careless with a loaded gun. When the barrel had turned to the point at Kraus's chin, the sneering, formless Reaper, master of the Room of Gold, had swung its scythe once more. Oh! Kraus is... I thought it had shot... So the blood on Hideyoshi is from Kraus. A line of blood trickled from Kraus's mouth. Noises that probably can't pronounce correctly because technically all of the throat, esophagus, voice box, tongue probably got shot quite a bit. The two fell down with Kraus's body on top of Hideyoshi. Letting out a cowardly cry, Hideyoshi backed away from Kraus's body, could cover him. I mean, I don't blame Hideyoshi there. I mean, I think that's how everyone would respond. Dear? I didn't do anything. Kraus Nissan's finger just got caught in the trigger. It's an accident. An accident, I tell you. Again, I feel like guns are good. But, they should only be used responsibly. Primarily for like self-defense or like sporting. You shouldn't be like using them to instigate violence or, be careless with them. And people should certainly never drink and use guns at the same time. Just saying, guns are not bad, but proper gun safety is a must. That's right, an accident. This was all an accident. As the pair of them broke down sobbing and repeatedly claiming that it was all an accident, Rosa and the others were unable to say anything. I mean, I feel like this is a normal response. I'm definitely definitely a normal response, Rosa. The witch also watched the scene but said nothing and appeared to be completely disinterested. It wasn't our fault. It was just an accident. You saw, right? You saw that, didn't you, Rosa? Could we take the bullets out of the guns now? Guys, obviously we couldn't do that before because Kraus was really, really upset. Because, his wife lost part of her, cranium. And so he lost his head too. But now that we're not actively, wrestling with loaded weapons, because again, guns are good if used responsibly. Proper gun safety is important. Like anybody using a gun should be properly trained with it and should actually, be mature enough to use it responsibly. So let's just unload all the guns. Because everyone here is apparently very emotional. And I feel like if we leave all the guns loaded, the people here cannot be trusted with them. To not act like dumb people. Kraus Nissan and Natsui-san both let their emotions get a hold of them and charged at us. Who knows? I couldn't say either way. Stupid, Rosa. You saw it, didn't you? You saw it from right there, so you must know. I'm sorry, I can't tell if it happened by accident or if you killed them and tried to make it look like an accident. But Rosa, again, people are more emotional. We're obviously paranoid. All the more reason for everyone to unload their guns. Rudolph-kun, you saw. You know what happened, right? Right? Sorry, but I agree with Rosa. We can't tell if it was an accident or intentional. Rosa and Rudolph's gazes looked very cold and indifferent to Ava and her husband. What are we going to do? They were shot to death. Saying it was a simple accident won't convince anyone. Maybe you should have thought of that before, I don't know, just randomly picking... Like, here's the thing. Why was everyone just holding loaded guns to begin with? Or at least just Ava. Why did you pick up the loaded gun? Why did you then point it while yelling again? Even if you had split everything completely evenly. And again, just... The forest. We'll say they went into the forest and went missing. That will buy us some time. That won't get us off the hook, right? The police will just search the whole forest. And anyway, why would those two go off into an uncultivated forest like that? It'll look suspicious from the start. There's no way we'll get away with it. It will be okay. If we hide the corpses here, no one will be able to find them. If we all play dumb, it'll work. It won't work. There's no way you can fool the police. If the two of them disappear during a family conference where we were arguing over the inheritance problem, the police won't just put it down as a case of missing persons. Shouldn't you also feel guilty you killed your brother and his wife? Even if it was completely on accident? Shouldn't you feel, I don't know, more concerned about your sense of, you know, like, shouldn't you feel like a lot of guilt and sadness at killing a person, let alone your brother? Like, your brother's dead. Don't you miss him? Aren't you sad? Ava, why aren't you sad? Shouldn't you be, like, really, really sad? You know, didn't you love your brother? I just had an idea. Though Ava had been scratching at her head, overcome with emotion, her arms suddenly fell as though their strings had been cut. What did you think of? An accident. We just need to make it look like an accident. But it is an accident, right? But like I said, even though it was, shouldn't you still feel really sad about this? Idiot. What kind of accident? There are clearly clear gunshot wounds on both corpses, right? Even if we burn them to make it look like they were caught in fire, it will still be obvious they were killed by guns. A fire? That's not good enough. We need more. A much more massive accident. A massive accident? You know, I feel like even if you were like really, really... Ava slowly walked forward, tapped it, and spoke. An explosion accident. We just need the sort of accident that will leave no traces of their corpses. Again, are you crazy, Ava? Oh my god, look at her face. As she played with the switch that would cause an automatic explosion at midnight. Ava? You don't seem to be doing the best. This is the same face you made before you shot Battler in the face with a shotgun. Ava spun around to look at them, a crazed expression on her face. It was truly a mad flash of inspiration. If they flipped the switch to the right and waited to midnight, the 900 tons of explosives would wipe out the mansion without a trace. There wouldn't even be anything left of the corpses. There certainly wouldn't be any way to tell that they had died by gunshot wounds before the explosion. So... it's an unshakable fact that this island is still filled with explosives from the war. Then, by coincidence, tomorrow night, something will set it off by chance, and the whole thing will explode. Yes, it'll be an accident. An explosion accident. What do you say? There's no way the police will find out the truth. This way we can pull it off. We can hide the manner of their deaths. Haha, that's crazy. Shaking, Hideyoshi frantically searched for a counter-argument, hoping to shut down Ava's mad idea. But he couldn't find one. If they blew everything up, the facts would all be muddled. They could make it look as though Kraus and Natsui had died in an explosion accident. It's perfect. Just perfect. Again, shouldn't you be feeling sad? You know, your brother's dead. Like, shouldn't you feel sad about this? Like, even if you had nothing to do with it? Let alone the fact that you very much did have something to do with it? Like, even if it was an accident, you should feel really guilty about it. It's weird that you don't. Like, even though you guys didn't get along, you still should feel like even if you had nothing to do with this. Like, if you just, like, got a phone call and, like, oh, yeah, he was hunting, like, pheasants and accidentally shot himself. And you were, like, on the other side of the planet, you should still, like, you're completely uninvolved. You should feel sad. Let alone that was you and your husband. And you're the one who first picked up the gun in the first place to do this. But also, even if anyone had any thought that maybe you actually did do it on accident, and even if they kept that agreement with it, even with your expression up till before the explosion thing, the fact that you're suggesting this kind of makes me feel like any amount of benefit of the doubt I would have had for you that it was an accident is gone. And at this point, I'm like, that was definitely murder. You definitely just, you killed him. And granted, Hideyoshi was a little backed in a corner on that, but still, you know, you were the one who picked up the loaded gun while yelling and threatening people. At no point have I seen you cry over Kraus or Natsui being, you know, they're laying there covered in ketchup packets.